Welcome, everybody. This is a 60-minute practice to support your immune system through working with our lymphatic system, which is kind of known as the first line of defense in removing waste from our body through some breath work and some movement. And then we will also do a restorative sequence that is designed to support and open up both the lungs and the intestines. So before we get into the physical practice, we are going to do a little bit of something called Acupoint Therapy, which is just really gentle touch that is that correspond to some acupuncture points in the body. And so the woman that I work with, her name is Tiffany Carole. She also does that. She's an acupuncturist, and she also pairs essential oils with different points. So this sequence that she suggested doing with the oil Ravinstara, which is actually not usually offered with doTERRA, but it came as a free oil last month for anyone who has a membership. But if you don't have Ravinstara, you can use Peppermint, you can use Eucalyptus, you can use doTERRA's Breathe, you can use Cardamom, and if you don't have an oil, you can totally do it without oils as well. So if you have an oil, grab your oil. And we're going to do a couple different points. So I'll show you the images, and then I'll also demonstrate it as well. So first, just take your bottle of oil and bring it up to your nose, and we'll take a couple deep breaths. Tiffany Carole calls Ravinstara the absolute protector. And Ravinstara, as well as all of the other oils that I mentioned, promote clear breathing and support our airways. And so the first point that we're going to put the oil on is called urinary bladder 10. And I'll show you on here. It's at the nape of our neck. And there's 2 points on either side. So as you can see, it's right where like the occipital ridge meets the muscle tissue, just at the very base of the neck. You can put a little bit of oil. I like to just put my finger on the bottle and kind of shake the bottle, and you can do it. I put it on both pointer fingers, or you can even put it on one and then rub them together. Again, if you don't have an oil, you can do this without oils, and it's just as great. So bring both pointer fingers, again, right to the base of the neck, under the occipital ridge, where the bone seems to meet this muscle tissue. And what we want to do is we want to find that point and then hug the fingers in. And next to the muscle, there's a groove between the tendons. And Tiffany Carole refers to this as it's like a window that she calls the sky point. She says that it helps to open heavenly realms to higher guidance. It activates our pineal gland in the realms of receiving light. And so you want to kind of press in with a gentle pressure and then even hug in and up. She said this is also great for the very beginning of a sickness, that it dispels sogginess. And we're using an uplifting oil directly on an uplifting point. I'll take one more breath there. And then release. And then the second point that we're going to do is lung 7. So you're going to take your left palm. I'll show you again on here as well so you can see it. So it's just here on the left wrist. So you have your left palm facing you, and then you slide it down, like at the base of the thumb. There's this little divot, and once you land on it, you'll kind of feel that the finger just kind of wants to fit right in there. So again, if you have an oil, take your oil, put some on the finger, and then I like to slide it all along the base of the thumb and wrist, and then find that sweet spot. Again, this is lung 7. It's the low point of the lung meridian. If you have an oil, you could even bring it up to the nose and take a few deep breaths. She says this point clears pathogens from the lungs and the lung channel. It's also another point that is good to do if you ever feel like you're being invaded, physically or energetically. Good, we'll take one more breath. And then rest your palms into your lap. Close the eyes. We'll just take 3 deep breaths there. And then the last point that we're going to do is large intestine 4. So this one, you're going to use your left hand again. I guess you could use either, but your left hand is a little bit easier if you're right-handed. So this one, where is it? The base of the thumb. So it's right in the crease between the thumb and the pointer finger. Again, if you kind of feel around, you'll notice that there's like your body wants to fit into itself, and you'll find that little divot. And if you have your oil, you can dab a little bit on your finger and then rub it right across between the pointer finger and the thumb, and then land right at that point. So even though physically in the body, the lungs and the heart are not necessarily connected directly to the small and the large intestine, energetically in Chinese medicine, they are considered pairs because they support similar processes in the body. Just a few more breaths here. And as you do this, really feel as though you're tending to yourself. Feeling empowered and making the decision to come to the practice and to nourish your body. And then release that. If you have any oils on your hands, it's nice to just bring them up to the nose again. Take another breath or two. Okay. And then we'll get into the practice. So we're actually going to start standing. We're going to do a little bit of movement combined with a little bit of breath work just to awaken the body, to get things moving. The lymph it acts as a pump in the body, so it really needs some pumping like action to get things flowing and moving freely. So that's what our goal is here as we do the first few practices. Okay. I'm like totally jerry-rigged as far as my computer and setup situation here, so I'm gonna see how far back I need to go for you guys to see me. Hopefully you can still hear me okay. So come to standing. Your feet are going to be more or less the hips distance apart. Arms to the sides. Let the arms and the shoulders relax. Take a moment here, just come all the way onto the balls of the feet and then to the heels. Sway a couple times like that. Inhale to the balls of the feet. Exhale to the heels. And then come through center. And we're going to go side to side, but we're going to sync breath and movement. So as you inhale, lean over to one side. And then as you exhale, you come all the way up and back over. And you inhale, and then exhale down. Let's do that. Let's inhale up, exhale to the other side. Inhaling to rise, and exhaling over. We'll do a couple cycles like that. Good, one more time each side. And then your inhale brings you through center. Slowly exhale there. And then this next one, we're going to start with the right hand onto the heart. So you bring the right hand to the center of the chest. And our left hand is going to come out to the side, and you're going to swing it back. If you have anything going on with your shoulders and stuff, just be mindful here. You can allow the whole torso and the hips to follow the movement. It doesn't have to be isolated into the upper body. And then you're going to come through center. And then we're going to inhale left, and we're going to exhale right. So then your left hand comes to the heart, and the right hand goes back. So it's going to be inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. In and out through the nose. And again, you can use your breath like a pump, creating circulation, blood flow, energizing the body. Good, keep that going. Inhale up, exhale right. Inhale left, exhale right. Last few. Last one. Inhale, come through center. Hold your breath at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Close the eyes, release the hands to the sides. Feel into the soles of your feet. And ride the wave of your breath. Feeling the beat of your heart. Notice what's shifted already. Good. So this next one, I'm going to turn to face this way just so you guys can see a little bit better. You're going to keep your feet hips distance apart. Your knees are going to be slightly bent. This one in Kundalini is called sweeping the aura. So energetically, it just kind of helps flush things out. And then physically in the body, same thing. We're acting like a pump. We're going to be compressing the belly, opening up through the lungs and the arms. So it's going to look something like this. You're going to inhale, arms reach up. And then exhale again, keep your knees slightly bent and fold forward, arms go back. So you're sweeping the field around you. Inhale to come up. Exhales to go down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Keep that going. Moving as fast or as slow as you would like. Inhale to bring in fresh oxygen, vitality. And exhaling any heaviness, any stress, any tension, any invaders. Keep it going. Maybe 5 more. Inhale all the way up. Hold your breath at the top. Hold the arms. And then exhale, release the arms to the sides. Again, slight bend in the knees. Feel into your kidneys in your lower back. And along with the perineum, base of your pelvis. Feel the kidneys, the perineum, root down towards the floor, all the way into the earth. As you inhale deeply here, all the way into your belly. Exhale completely, drawing the navel to the spine. And then from here, we're going to come all the way down to the ground. And we'll make our way onto hands and knees. So coming into tabletop position. We're just going to take a few cat-cows here. So as you inhale, you're going to arch the spine, gaze up, heart forward. And then exhale, press down into the feet, the knees, the hands, round through your spine. Navel draws back and up. Inhaling to arch the spine. And exhaling to round. So we'll do about 3 more cycles like that. Coming through neutral spine. Go ahead and find a comfortable seat. And then from here, we're going to open the legs out into a V. This doesn't need to be like your deepest, most widest expression of the posture. It can be fairly narrow. We're going to do one more movement, breath, synced action here for the lymphatic system, and then we'll get into some longer, more restorative holds. So again, your legs are out in a V. And what we're going to do is we're going to, actually it's kind of similar to the twisting action that we were doing with the arms standing. We're going to twist over, so your arms can come out to the side. And you're going to inhale over to one side. So you're going to take, let's say, your left hand over to the right. And you're just going to reach over your right leg. It doesn't matter how far it goes. You're going to inhale to come up. exhale, opposite side. Inhale up, exhale, other way. Keep it going. Inhale through center, exhale to twist and cross over the opposite leg. And again, you can move as fast or as slow as you'd like. Most importantly, let your breath guide your movement. Good. One more time each side. And inhale, come up through center. Press the hands either on to the thighs, or if it feels better for you, you can bring your hands behind you to the ground to help lift the spine, the lungs, the heart up. Close the eyes, take a few breaths. And then from here, we're going to go into a diamond shape with the legs. And you can kind of adjust accordingly to your body. We're going to take more of a yin style posture, so it can be very passive. And you can either have your heels closer towards your pelvis or further away, whatever feels best for you today. And then inhale, start to lengthen up through your spine, sitting up nice and tall. And then exhale, we'll start to fold forward, rounding through the spine. And so for some of us, we may just be sitting up, tucking the chin towards the chest. And this may be plenty of a stretch through the back body, through the outer hips, through the inner thighs. If you'd like more, you can continue folding as much as feels comfortable for you. We will be here for 2 or 3 minutes. So just know that there's no rush. Again, this isn't about getting into the deepest possible stretch, but coming into a relaxed variation of the pose for you right now, so that the nervous system can start to relax. And so all of these postures in this sequence that we're going to do correspond to both the lungs and the large intestine meridians. The lungs hold the privilege of giving the life-giving network to the whole body. Each and every day, the lungs do a vital job, taking about 23,000 breaths, which are filtered through the lungs to oxygenate our blood. Which in turn then carries that oxygen to each and every cell. And again, though not physically connected, energetically, the lungs and the large intestine share characteristics. The lungs are drawing in our nutrients. Whereas the large intestine is where we store and eliminate waste. It's like the garbage collector, which is then responsible for absorption of water and the excretion of solid waste. We'll take one more breath here. And as you inhale, slowly bringing yourselves up. Go ahead and lean back onto the hands. You can draw the legs in and up, bringing the soles of the feet to the floor. Knees bent. You can bring the feet about as wide as your mat, a little bit wider than your hips. We're going to windshield wiper the legs. So dropping the knees over to one side. And inhale them up through center. And exhale them to the other side. Again, syncing breath and movement here. You can even look in the opposite direction of your knees. We'll do one more on each side. And inhale to come up through center. We're going to go into something called hammock pose. So your lower body is going to stay as is. And you're going to bring your forearms to the ground behind you. And then from here, you're just going to let the spine hammock towards the ground. So it kind of rounds towards the ground. The shoulders can kind of come up towards the ears. Your chin is releasing towards your chest. Gaze is slightly forward. Maybe even eyes closed. And as you inhale here, envision filling up the entire lungs with your breath. So not only bringing the breath all the way into the bottom of the lung, but filling up into the upper lungs just beneath the collarbones. And then from here, we're going to come all the way onto the backs. Keeping the knees bent. And then let's cross the right ankle on top of the left knee. So you're making a number 4 cross. Okay, the arms can come out to the sides in a loose V or T position. And then from here, you're going to keep the stance of the legs as is, but both legs are going to fall over to the left. Okay, and then the sole of the right foot, your top leg and foot, is going to land on the ground. Your knee, it may come in towards you a bit, but we're going to try to keep it moving upwards towards the sky. And then naturally your right seat is peeling off the ground, but you want to think of, I almost like to think of like a sandbag on it or an anchor. weighting you down towards the earth. And especially your right arm, let's open that up nice and wide over to the right. You could even bring your left hand onto the chest or onto the belly. And again, we'll be here for a few minutes. Allowing yourself to sink into the cadence of your breath. And just noticing the length of your inhales and the length of your exhales. And see if you can start to smooth out the breath by lengthening your inhale to a count of 4. And then matching the length of your exhale to also be a count of 4. So we're inhaling for 4, and we're exhaling for 4. So I'm going to give one other variation for this for anyone who'd like to take it a little bit deeper. You can hold on to the right ankle with the left hand. And if it's available to you, you can scooch your bottom leg, your left leg, in towards the center of the mat. And then maybe with the right hand, you take a hold of the left foot. Okay, this is a pretty deep twist and a pretty big opening for the hips, especially because we didn't do too much to open them up. So if it's not quite available to you today, no worries. Stay in the first variation. Bringing your inhales all the way down into the base of the belly. And exhaling completely, drawing the navel to the spine. In whatever position that you're in, notice any tension around the eyes, through the tongue and the jaw, even the neck and the shoulders. And see if with attention, with awareness, with compassion, you can invite yourself to soften that tension, or gripping or holding on, and allow yourself to melt more fully into the moment. If you have a hold of the bottom foot, we're going to release that. And then nice and slow, we're going to bring both legs back up. And then from here, same leg is going to stay on top. You're going to cross thigh over thigh. So I like to call this one more gentleman cross, and then crossing more like a lady. thigh upper thigh. And then this is phase one. If you're getting enough here, you stay here. Phase two is to bring the knees into the chest, maybe even holding on to the knees. I'm likely going to stay here, but I'll show you variation 3 for those who would like to take it one step further. And that would be taking your hands, bringing the palms to the soles of the feet, wrapping the fingers around the pinky edges of the feet, holding onto the feet, and settling in here. Okay, you can try that, and if it's too much, you can go back to the second one where you're holding your knees. In traditional Chinese medicine, when the lung qi and the large intestine qi, when the meridians are flowing freely and they're well balanced, it is said that it's connected to our ability to encounter difficulty with the willingness to endure, and to do so with personal confidence. And our skin is actually considered like our third lung. So as you return to this equal count of 4 count inhale, 4 count exhale in your breathing, imagine that you are breathing in fresh oxygen through the pores of your skin. You are creating more life force, more vitality, more radiance, more health, more well-being. Not only through the circulation of your blood, but let it penetrate and emanate from every cell in your body. We'll take one more inhale there. And then exhale to release the legs. The left foot's going to come to the ground. So keep the legs as they are. We're going to go back into the twist, but this time again, the legs are slightly different in their position. So your thigh for thigh. You could even, if it's available to you, you could take your top foot and hook it around your bottom ankle and go in for the second bind of the legs. Totally optional. Again, you don't have to take it. Otherwise, just keep legs crossed. And then arms come out to the side in a T. And then both knees over to the left. So just taking it into a little bit deeper of a twist. You can even press down into the back of your head. Lift the chest up and rotate the heart, the chest, even the front of the belly towards the sky. And then let your head and your gaze fall in whatever direction feels the most restorative. Generally speaking, when our gaze or our head is turning in the direction of the knees in our twist, it's going to be a bit more gentle, a bit more passive. You You can also take it more through neutral, or a little bit more of an active twist, or taking it into the full rotation all the way up through the cervical spine would be to gaze in the opposite direction of your knees. Deepening the breath here, we're going to return to equal count of breath. But this time, I'm going to invite you to take a 5-count inhale and a 5-count exhale. We'll take one more in-breath. And with your exhale, navel to spine, use that strength hugging in to bring the knees up through center. Uncross the legs, bring everything back through center. Do one more thing here for the lymphatic system. Bring the knees into the chest. Draw the feet and the legs up to the sky. Ooh, scrunch your toes maybe, roll your ankles. And then bring your hands and arms up to the sky as well. Slightly bend through your knees, and then you're going to shake. Shake your feet, shake your legs, shake your hands, shake your arms. Let everything flush down towards the belly, heart. A deep breath in. Maybe even sigh it out. Good. And then hug your knees into your chest. Long breath in. Full breath out. So we'll complete that whole sequence on the other side. So bring the feet down to the ground, knees bent. Cross the left ankle over the right knee. Take a moment here. And then from here, both legs are going to go all the way over to the right. Again, you can keep the number 4 cross as it is. The outer right hip and thigh will come to the ground. The left foot will come to the ground. Left knee stays up. And if you're a little bit tighter in the outer legs, the belly, the hips, your leg may come closer to you. That's totally fine. But we do want to think of moving the knee skyward and the hip earthbound. Be gentle with yourself, especially if this is a big one for you. Use your breath to smooth out any edges, to create more space, more flexibility, more ease, melting away any tension. And then to really get into the heart and the small intestine, open out your left arm to the left. You could even kind of stretch through your fingers. A nice opening through the whole front line of the arm, front of the shoulder, even into the pecs. So not only is the heart responsible for oxygenating the body, but its radiance enhances our communication, our connectivity, our creativity. Houses our capacity to hold compassion, deepen the breath here. If you took it on the other side and you haven't yet already made your way into it, feel free to reach for that bottom foot. Again, if it's available, this is personally my tighter side, so I'm staying with the first variation. And again, if you are experiencing any tightness, contraction in the hips, the belly, even the chest and the shoulders, I always like to first come back to my breathing, see if I can smooth it out, see if I can lengthen the counts. And then also becoming aware of the expression on my face. Most likely, if there's tension and contraction in the area that we're working on, somewhere else in our body, often in our eyes or our jaw, will respond to try to hold on to relieve the other tension. And so see if you can consciously invite those areas to release. We'll take one more deep inhale. And then exhale, navel draws to the spine. And bring the legs all the way up through center. And then from here, thigh over thigh. Same leg stays on top. Again, this is round one, phase one. Staying as you are. Phase two would be to draw the knees into the chest. Maybe taking the hands to hold the knees. Phase three, again, is to hold the feet. So landing in whatever position feels appropriate for you. And then just notice, even though we are hugging the knees in and pressing the thighs against the belly, creating a nice massage for the internal organs through the breath. See if you can allow the hips and the pelvis to almost like tilt forward towards the front of your mat. So naturally they're going to want to hunch up, squeeze up towards the abdomen. See if you can let them soften away, creating more length in the lower back and the lower belly. Also see if you can Relax your shoulders a bit more here. Taking one more inhale. And then exhale, bringing the right foot back to the ground. Again, keeping the cross as is. Maybe going in for that second bind, hooking the top foot around the bottom shin or calf. And then both knees go over to the right. Nice deep twist. Again, reaching the left arm all the way out to the left. And allowing the head and the gaze to fall in whatever position feels best for you. Allowing your breath and your body to decide what it needs to take in as nutrients in this moment. And with every exhale, encouraging the process of elimination of whatever is not needed, whatever is not supporting health, vitality, wellness, strength. Remembering that your body is beautifully designed and has the capacity to take care of itself as long as we give it the proper nutrients, rest, hydration. Take just a few more cycles of breath here. And for these last few, let's see if we can bring it all the way up into a 6 count inhale and a 6 count exhale. And next, exhale, let that be your last. And bring both legs back up through center. Uncross the legs. Move everything back through the center of your mat. Hug the knees into the chest. Once again. This time, hug it all in. You can roll your ankles here. Maybe even point and flex through the feet. We'll do that shake one more time before we close it up. Bringing the legs up, bringing the arms up. And we'll shake. Nice deep breath here. Even letting out some sighs. So good to calm the nervous system. Good. Inhale. And then exhale, hug it in. Last few breaths here. Filling up the whole back of your body with your breath. Feeling all the points in which you are connected to the earth with your body. And I like to envision my body connected to the earth as a charging station, a battery pack to nourish me, to strengthen me, to restore me. Breathe that into your back body and all points of contact that you have with the floor. And then from here, we'll come into final resting posture, Shavasana. Lengthen the legs out. Bring the arms to the sides, the palms to face up. Allow the eyes to float closed. And allow yourself to fully relax here. Feel every cell of your body humming. Feel into all of the space that you've created. Staying gently aware of the sensation in the rise and the fall of your breath. Maybe even feeling the pulse, the beat of your heart. And then imagining the eye sockets, the shape of a cone. And feel as though you could allow the eyes to soften towards the back of the skull. The pupils descending all the way down to the point of the crown. And even allow the brain to settle towards the back of the skull. Even feel the back of the skull spread wide across the floor. Bringing your sense of sound back online. See how many different sounds within your environment you can hear. And come back to this visual of your skin being the third lung. And as if you could breathe fresh oxygen, vital nutrients, and life force energy into every pore of your body. Begin filling yourself up, reawakening the body. Deepening the breath. And as the breath deepens, if you're really cozy here and you're going to find your way into your bed soon, you're welcome to stay as you are and take as long as you need. Otherwise, if you're ready to come out of your practice, you can slowly bend the knees, either just bringing the soles of the feet to the floor or hugging the knees to the chest. And then gently rolling over onto your right side. Taking a moment here and pausing to express gratitude for whatever comes to your stream of consciousness right now in this moment. And holding on to that feeling of gratitude. Slowly press yourselves to a comfortable seat, keeping the eyes closed, resting your hands on your thighs or in your lap. Just feel yourself land here. Bringing your inner gaze all the way down towards the base of the pelvis. And just take note of all the points of contact that your lower body has with the floor, with the earth. And imagine from the base of your body, there were roots spreading down and out through the floor, through the concrete of your building, down into the soil of the earth, down through rock, down through crystal, down through water. And imagine these roots going all the way down to the center of the earth, plugging yourself into planet, refueling you, recharging you, strengthening you, encouraging you, loving you, holding you. And then staying connected to those roots, inhale deeply, draw the breath from the base all the way up now, filling up the belly, filling up the lungs, filling up the heart. And feeling into all that space you've created. Let's interlace the fingers together, bring them behind the head, elbows out to the sides. Take an inhale, lift up, up, up. Gaze up, chin up, throat up, elbows up and wide. You can inhale one more time here. And then exhale to release the hands. Bring the hands onto the heart. Bow in towards your own heart. Take a moment, just thank yourself for showing up. Taking care of yourself, loving yourself. May this practice create ripples, love, vitality, health, wellness, to as far as it can reach. Thank you so much for sharing your practice. Thank you, guys. I'm going to return the recording off now, but thank you to everyone who joined, and be in touch via email if you need anything. Take sweet care